What is up, guys? It's the Brickto here, and today we have some announcements from Lego. We're going to be getting a new Lego art theme. This is going to be one of the 18 plus lines that they're coming out with, and we basically got four sets that they just announced. Each of these are going to be big mosaics on a 48 by 48 base plate, mainly just for displayability. And we're just going to go ahead and get right into it here. The first one we have is Andy Warhol's Marilyn Monroe.
This is probably my least favorite out of all four. I'm just not super interested in it. And I'm also not a big fan of it being the same picture for each of the four different designs that you can make. I wish that there was different Andy Warhol, some of his art instead of just the Marilyn Monroe one four times with just different colors. But this one isn't my favorite, but it might be for some people.
All right, and next we're going to go ahead and talk about the Beatles one. This one's pretty cool in my opinion. You're basically able to build each of the four Beatles artists. And I guess one of the things about this one that is a little bit surprising is how the artists were able to create each of these four separate images with the same slew of pieces. And like I said, like K Brooks was talking about earlier, was the other one is very similar, so it makes sense that they were able to use the same number of pieces to make the four different pictures. Or for this one, they're all very different, so it's pretty cool to see that. And I think people are going to be left with a lot of extra pieces for these mosaic sets, which is a good thing as well. I think if people want to go outside the box a little bit too and maybe work on some of their own creations as well.
I was really surprised about how realistic these faces look in this too. And also, I'm a fan of them using these one by one tiles instead of a one by one brick. If you've ever done mosaics with a one by one brick, you know that you have to angle them all correctly, and that can be really just tedious and time consuming. But with these, I think it'll make the building process a little more fun, and I actually like the look of it a little bit better too. I like how there's seems to be like a little bit of space in between each of the pieces. For some reason, it makes the image a little bit more detailed, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then so we're gonna have to move on to the Marvel Studios one, and the interesting thing about this one compared to the other two is that it actually uses studs. So like K Brooks was saying, the other one is flat pieces, and this one is the traditional Lego stud. So you don't have to really worry about positioning it too much. However, if you are a little OCD and want the Lego logo facing all the same way, it could be a pesky build for you. But I think this one looks fantastic as well.
I wonder why some of them they use studs and others they use tiles, because the tiles are gonna be a pain in the butt to be able to lift to take apart.
Well, that now that you mention it, they actually come out with a new brick separator as well. It's going to be able to scrape up six, so essentially it has a much wider scraper.
Yeah,
It's still going to be challenging. I think there's going to be a lot of pieces flying everywhere, so
yeah.
I don't think this is going to be one of those sets you wanna really take apart, to be honest.
Nah. And whenever I scrape them too, it kind of scratches the pieces a little bit, and it scratches them in a spot you can't really see, but like, and you might be able to wipe it off still too, but it does leave a little bit of a mark. So I don't know. The tiles are kind of interesting, but Iron Man, I like this one a lot. It looks really good. It looks way better than I thought it would, coming from Lego, and I like how there's that little bit of blue in there. I think it contrasts Iron Man a little bit.
All right, and then now ahead, we're going to go ahead and talk about the one I'm most excited for, the Star Wars Sith. So with this one, you're going to be able to make, I believe, three different images. You're going to be able to make Darth Vader, Darth Maul, and Kylo Ren. For me personally, I think Darth Maul is incredible. I mean, I love this thing. It reminds me a lot about the Darth Maul bust that came out in 2001 UCS set, where it just looks very menacing. Just a really cool display piece, and I kind of get in the same vibe with this one as well. Again, this one is going to have the studs instead of the flat pieces, so interesting choice. We'll see, if they come out with another, slew of these sets, if they'll stick with one or the other. But for now, we sort of have a bit of a mix.
I like the Darth Vader probably the best on this one. I think the Darth Maul, some of his markings are a little bit washed out, and I like how Darth Vader, you can really see the reflection against his helmet. You've seen the picture of them having all three of them connected to make one Darth Vader.
Yep.
That is awesome. I think that's probably gonna be like something that a lot of big Star Wars fans are gonna want to do, even though it'd be like $360 to buy three of them. But having it just hang in your room or something like that would be sweet. It looks awesome.
Yeah. Good thing to mention there. They're going to cost $120 each. So if you wanted to have multiples of these on display, it's going to add up pretty quick. I don't think it's overpriced because I think you're going to probably get a pretty good build experience, pretty good instructions, and I think it's going to be worth the money. However, once you start considering maybe trying to get three of them to build, for instance, the larger Darth Vader the larger Darth Vader one, it's going to be pretty costly. So it's going to be for some serious collectors who really want that display piece. And they also have one for the Iron Man as well. If you put three, and this is going to go horizontal instead of vertical like Darth Vader, if you put three of them together, you can get a larger Iron Man picture, which I think looks pretty good too. But the Darth Vader, at least for me, is really cool. Well, that's about it, guys. This is Brick Duo signing off.